Lesson 8. We are still working with inequalities, but now we are going to have compound inequalities, which is two or more inequalities joined with and, or. So when you have the or inequalities, they have a tendency to graph apart, or in other words, like one going one way and one going the other way. So for example, a simple one, if we have x is less than or equal to -2, that would be right here, and it's going to be that way. And then it says, or x is greater than 3. And so when they have the words or, that's what it's going to look like. And then you do interval notation for both of them. So we have the negative infinity. That's supposed to be the infinity sign. Whoops. I don't want that yet. And then -2, and that's included. Or we have 3, infinity. Okay, so you're going to have two interval notations with those. So you solve and then you graph and then you write the solution. So we have, first we have to solve them, and you got to do them each separately. So we're going to get x is less than -3. And then on this one we have x is greater than or equal to 6. And you don't have to put the or in there, but you can. So we got the -3, and it's going that way, or, and then it goes that way. And what that means is if you choose a number that's on those graphs, it should work in at least one or the other. So like, let's say we choose the number 8. If we put that into this equation here, 2 times 8 is 16, and that is greater than 12. So that works. If we put it over here, if we still use the number 8, 8 minus 4 is 4, and that is not less than -7. So it's only going to work in one or the other. But obviously, if we pick one from this graph, it's going to work in the other equation. Okay, go ahead and solve the inequalities, which you should be able to do. So this one, you're going to have to flip the sign. And then this one is 1. So we have x is greater than or equal to, did I do that right? Yeah, okay. And that one should be colored in. And the other one is, oh my golly, did I forget the sign here? No, I did have it there. And then less than 1. So here's that, and it's going to go that way. Okay, so we have -infinity, and then we're going to stop at the 1, or brackets 3. Couldn't tell where that was. The graph isn't very well drawn. And then infinity. Okay, good thing you're listening because my writing is terrible. Okay, now you go ahead and do those and see if you come up with the same that I have. Okay, I'm going to show you number 3. Make sure you pause it if you don't have enough time to look at it. I just went ahead and gave the answers because you should be able to know how to solve those inequalities by now. This is the infinity sign here. Okay, number 4, same thing. You should be able to solve them. Shouldn't really be a problem. And then number 5, I know that the second one comes out where you have the -x, so you have to make sure you flip the sign and everything. And that's what you should come up with. So those are all ones that are or, so they should end up going the opposite ways. Okay, then on the back side, we have the type 2, which are the and they have a tendency to graph together. So for example, if we had x is greater than or equal to negative 6. We would color that in, and it would go that way. And then we have x is less than or equal to 1. So it's going to be colored in, and it's going to go this way. So then you can tell they're going to meet. So anything on that line there should work for both inequalities. So if you choose any number, let's just say negative 2. So if you put in that for x, negative 2 is less than or equal to 1. True. I put negative 2 in here. Negative 2 is greater than or equal to negative 6. True. So whatever one you choose on that graph, it should work for both inequalities. So it says because the solutions to an and inequality fall between two endpoints, they are frequently written in a more condensed form. So on this one up here, right up there, I'm not going to rewrite it. That can be written as, you just put the x in the middle, you only use it once. So x is greater than negative 6 or equal to, and it's also less than or equal to 1. And I think the key is whenever you write this in the condensed form, the arrows should always be going to the left. Okay, so let's do some of these. Now, it gets a little more tricky when they're written like this. So you can either think of these as two separate inequalities where you have this one. So first you do that part. So some people, it helps for them to like circle that so they know they're not doing anything with the 9 over there. So you have x is greater than, and we're going to minus 4, so we have negative 2. And then on this side, you're going to think of just this part here. So then you're minusing 4, and so you're going to have x, which is already written there, and we minus 4, and we get 5. And then you go ahead and graph it. So x, we have negative 2, open circle, and 5, open circle, and it should go right in the middle. And then the interval notation is, whoops, did I do that right? I should be coloring that one. Oh, I didn't catch that. That should have that line underneath there. I didn't catch that. So this one should be colored in, but not the other one. Okay, so we have brackets at negative 2, comma, 5 with, because it doesn't go on forever, so we don't want those infinity symbols. Just everything in between there. Okay, number 2, go ahead and pause it if you want and solve it on your own. Sometimes you can, if you want to separate them apart, you can. So we have 7x minus 13. So we're going to do 7x, and we're going to add 13. So that gives us, let's see here, that gives us negative 14. And then we're going to divide by 7. So we get negative 2. And then over here, I like to separate mine. So over here now, I'm just looking at this part. We have 7x, and then we're going to add 13. So we get 21. So we get x is, there we go. And then when we condense it, we just kind of combine this x here. So it'd be negative 2, like that, and then that. And then we have x is less than 3. And then we have x is greater than negative 2. And it's right there in the middle. And so the left side is negative 2. And then we read it like a book, and it goes to 3. Okay. So go ahead and try number 18. Or sorry, number 8. And pause it and then come back to it. Okay, if you look at number 8, pause it if you need to. That should be your answer there. All right, number 9. I thought I would do it with you since it has the fraction. So first part on the left side, we're gonna minus 1 on each side to get negative 2. And then we get 2/3 x. And then for the other one, we're going to minus 1 to this side. We're going to get a 4. And then we're going to times by the reciprocal, so 3 halves. And so we're going to times by 3 halves here. And so that cancels, and that's a 2. We end up getting 2 times 3 is 6. And then if we have, I'll do it over here, if we have negative 2 over 1 times 3 halves, canceled out, and it comes out to be a negative 3. And so the interval notation is 3 with a comma, and then, negative 3 with a comma, and then 6 with brackets. So negative 3, 6 colored in, and there we go. So on this one, the best thing to do would be to do the distributive property first. So you go ahead and do that and see what you come up with. All right, so number 9, I guess I did that together. And then number 10, you would have done 2x minus 12. And then I just went ahead and added 12 to each side at the same time. Then I divided by 2. And there you go. So make sure that you're practicing those.